couple things before we get started, I guess. First off, I'm back home, and my bedroom sounds like an absolute war zone if anybody is walking across above it. So, if you hear any footsteps, that's what that is for. Um, and also, so now I guess we could just get started. That's all I have. I have gotten up so many times this week just to find that space station, and I've looked up videos, and it almost looks like a comet on those videos, and I can't believe that I haven't seen it yet. And I think it's just because it's been so cloudy in the mornings that it's just not possible to see it through the clouds. um, like I'm gonna try one more time tomorrow morning at 4:30 a.m. Right now it's March 6th of 2022, so I have like one more day to try and get that to you. If I can't, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do for that, but but anyway, uh, but the ISS. I'm sorry, I'm also sick. I should have stated that earlier. Um, uh, its main objective is only to conduct scientific research using the abilities of humans in space, and we are also asked to solve the question of what is the furthest thing from Earth that was built by humans, and that would be Voyager 1, which is 14.5 billion miles from Earth right now. uh, Only goal for it is to expand NASA's exploration beyond our system, or at least where our sun is influencing our knowledge, hopefully we can just go beyond our solar system is basically all it is. So on Monday we talked about basically this history of the space race. It became a huge thing during the 60s, but the first thing that had ever breached the surface of space or breached outer space was a V2 rocket made by Germany. Now I don't know if they were I don't know if they were intending to go outer space, but it was made in the 40s, so technically they were the first. They had the first milestone, and then during the 60s, Russia was able to send up Sputnik, the first satellite, up into orbit, and then we put the first man on the moon. One small step for man, or one huge step for mankind. Then we kind of, and then it. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. It's probably. We talked about other stuff that we could, or that space exploration has aided us, or not aided us, but helped us advance in. So like technologies like wireless headsets and cameras. EpiPens, I think, was one of them that was listed off. There's a huge, like space exploration has a huge factor in the stuff that we use like right now. So so if we weren't doing that, if we weren't trying to explore space, well, we wouldn't have the cool stuff that we have like right now, such as probably laptops or stuff, stuff along that line. Let's see. We also talked about why do we want to explore space. I do remember at least three reasons, I believe. The first one was simply because we want to. It's the invasive species part. That's our nature. And two, we don't exactly have a choice. I mean, our we believe that in 2050 that the population will be 10 billion, and that's kind of like the limit of Earth. So we have to find ways to expand. Uh, and then three, just simply help. Okay, like I just covered it, helps better our society using uh, and developing the technologies that I just stated earlier, like the EpiPen and the wireless headset cameras. Which honestly, I don't think we got further enough into cameras because a laptop camera kind of sucks compared to others' laptops. Um, and then we started talking about like probes that they've sent out, like Galileo. Galileo was sent out to um, not probe, but more observe uh, Jupiter's moons, Io and Europa specifically. Io has volcanoes that are very relatable to uh, Earth's. One of them is very relatable to Hawaii's, and specifically, I can't remember which one. I just remember reading that in the book before I started filming this. And Europa it's the other moon. It's a salty ocean planet. Um, basically, that could mean that there's just a possibility for life on that planet. And so when Galileo was done, they sent it into Jupiter's atmosphere, and then it just got dismantled. And that's a huge gravitational force. Um, there's no way you could get that thing back, um, but before that, before like after or while it was observing Io and Europa, it did send a probe into Jupiter that relayed information back into Galileo and then sent it back to Earth. The probe did pick up like atmosphere and uh, composition of atmosphere and gravitational force, pressures, all the good stuff before it. And I think it only reached about 95 miles into the atmosphere before it stopped. And compared to Jupiter, 95 miles is like probably not even that much. It's just maybe. Probably a bad scale, but I'm not going to try and get it accurate right now. And then, oh, like Hubble spacecraft, that's still operational. That's got to be one of the best inventions or telescopes that we have in space right now. Even though it had a stupid little paint fleck that ruined the adjustments or the lens. I can't tell. I can't do it. I can't say the words. But basically, it was messed up, and they had to fix it in space, off of launch. So unfortunate, but it's still operating. It's taken many pictures. It's shown us so much stuff about our solar system and beyond. Truly fascinating. Um, we sent rovers to Mars. We sent. We have a space station. You know, there's several other probes. Uh, One of them, I went to Saturn to observe its two of its moons. I believe it was called the Cassini. It sounded Italian, uh, but I didn't read too much into that one simply because, well, it's not as cool as Jupiter. Let's just be honest. But later we started, and then on Friday we started talking about theories. Um, theories about how like the moon is a chunk of Earth. Somehow, I can't wrap my mind around it. Still, somehow, it just doesn't make sense to me. But the moon is somehow a chunk of the Earth. But I've remember watching like a Science Channel show a long time ago, and I think Morgan Freeman was on it, so you know it's good. Um, he said that the moon took a lot of asteroids for Earth due to all of its craters. Um, you know, millions of years ago, probably billions, even though the Earth is only 4.5 billion years old. I believe it's a pretty good possibility. Um, Sorry, I just had a. Um, so I, th- so, but that the also the other theory of um, where the moon is a chunk of the Earth. I believe where it could kind of come from, since there's no water found on the moon, but at the same time, I still can't wrap my mind around it. But with all the asteroids, so with the other theory where where the moon took all the asteroids for Earth, just like body blocked them, uh, I could believe like a lot of that shrapnel still landed on Earth, and like that's how it got so dusted with gold, and maybe that's why the moon doesn't have any water, you know, watery molecules on it, or very much iron in the first place. It's because all of it got knocked off onto Earth, or even out into space or onto other planets, I think. um, I can't really explain the asteroid belt very much, but when I spaced off about like 2 minutes ago now, I was thinking, holy crap, what if our whole solar system somehow a planet where the sun was the core of that planet, and then all of these meteorites are just out and about, and then Earth, and then everything else kind of fell together like all the planets did, and that's why the asteroids have oil in them. Uh, I don't really know. That was something just came up out of my mind. Something cataclysmic, probably. I can't tell you. That's just something I just now made up. But Neil deGrasse Tyson also, I uh, I know that he's been on the Joe Rogan podcast a few times, and those are pretty good. That's something that's good to listen to. I think. I mean, you don't watch all of Joe Rogan's stuff. That stuff's uh, pretty out there, but the Neil deGrasse Tyson stuff was very interesting to me when I watched it. There's a few of them that are a few years old that you could probably get something out of if you really liked watching Neil talk. Um, I'd give it a watch. And oh, I almost forgot one of the other theories. I still, I would like to know more about Elon's. Yeah, I would like to know more about Elon's theory for nuking the poles of Mars, because, like he was thinking or saying on his theory is that if he does that, he can release all of the uh, excuse me, oxygen and hydrogen, and hopefully with the blast create some carbon dioxide to create an atmosphere around Mars to make it more habitable. But I don't think enough uh, research has been conducted on Mars to know if the planet will just go poof and then we'd all be screwed. But um, that's all I've got for the chapter review. I also have a 4 minute video on my phone from this morning talking to myself in the dark of my car looking for the space station. So I might have to post that if I don't ever see it. You might get a kick out of it. It's 4 minutes long. That's when the space station was supposed to be visible. But I think I got screwed from cloud cover like every day this week. I'm tired and I just want to go to bed because I'm sick. Have a good week.